Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is Out of Bounds. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia, with my two best friends, the Scott Bogman and the Welsh. And it's all of you hanging out on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be. Subscribe today. Use your little Amazon Prime account, $5. Get rid of the stupid commercials. You could also watch us on demand on our YouTube channel. Drop your comments below there. And, of course, we got giveaways going on as well. What are we giving away this week? Let's throw this bad boy up there. Oh, check it out. The Fantasy Football Dumpster Fire Loser Belt. I like this one. I've never seen this one. This is totally new. And remember, when you are a subscriber here on Twitch, you get a 1.5 times odds boost. So if you're watching on YouTube, go to the Twitch, subscribe, and you could win the teeny tiny loser belt. That is adorable there. It fits right around your finger. So for the loser in your league or the loser in your life, thank you very much, Trophy Smack. We appreciate you. All right, boys, it was a crazy week of football. It feels like all of our teams either scored 150 points or 50 points. When you look at all the standings and you look at what's going on there, it was a strange week of streamers going off, the Michael Wilsons of the world, the Tuckers of the world. Like, all these guys just scoring massive amounts of points, and guys like Lamar Jackson who couldn't get out of their own way, and Justin Herbert. It was nuts out there in those fantasy streets. Scott Bogman, how did your teams survive week 11?
First of all, Joe, what kind of coffee are you drinking right now? Because I'm not a coffee guy.
I don't drink any coffee.
Okay, then you need to bottle up whatever this is and send it to me.
I think I had coffee. The occasional espresso martini, I guess that counts because, me and Erickson roll that way. But I have not had anything but tea, basically, I don't know, since probably before the summertime. So,
I don't want to accuse you of anything, but you got a lot of energy this morning. Maybe I'm just tired. But
I think it's you.
I'm happy the Steelers won. I'm not happy that players are getting spit on out here. Don't like that. We'll get to that a little later. But my fantasy teams, I got dropped in guillotine this week. JT was carrying me, and the bye week crushed me in a bunch of leagues. So lost a lot in a bunch of leagues. Won big in some. I think you're right. I think it was, it was all or nothing, I feel like, this week for fantasy. It was either you were part of the injury brigade of Sunday Bloody Sunday. I can't even speak here, so maybe it is me. Of Sunday Bloody Sunday here. You were either part of that or nobody got hurt and your team put up a decent amount of points. So that's what it was like in all my leagues as well, Joey.
Bugs turned into Porky Pig. He's like,
that's it for me.
Welsh, it was a very strange week. Of all the things that, were odd in week 11, there was a lot of odd to choose from. Which was the one that kind of just like rung your bell the weirdest, and the one that kind of hit you was like, wow, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe, never saw that coming. Like, I took a bunch of Michael Wilson questions. I was like, yeah, well, I guess as a streamer, it's okay. I didn't expect him to have 185 receiving yards.
Yeah, well, I was told you took a lot of Tetaroa McMillan questions as well on the live stream that didn't work as well either.
They did not.
There's a lot of weird stuff.
Let's set it up. Well, Welsh, let's set it up. Let's see. The Falcons gave up the least amount of receiving yards of any team, and Bryce Young was coming to town for the second time, and Bryce Young put up a 450 spot. I mean, how of course he did. Of course he did.
Tetaroa. Yeah, there was just a bunch of weird stuff. This is a bad week. We always do those, when's the Vegas get right type of stuff that's going on. I mean, me and Erickson got smashed across the board on bets on the Betting Pro side. The one that hit home, how you kind of referenced it is a little bit different, where you're like shock, because this one, like, on paper, you kind of get it, but Sam Darnold was horrifically bad. Like, next level bad. He had been carrying this team. They had been, I thought this was a position. It was a big game of the week where you're not going to be able to run the ball. You're going to pass the ball. Sam Darnold had just been dropping dimes. Jackson Smith and Jigba is just consistently the 100-yard monster. They got Rashid Shaheed. You think they're going to go and take the top off? He was insane. 4 picks. He had a fumble that I think ended up not being a fumble at the end. Like,
don't let Ernest Jones hear you saying this stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, I was backing him. I've been backing Sam Darnold. I thought the 2 touchdowns was going to be a lock. Definitely don't let Ernest Jones do that. But the Sam Darnold one, of all the crazy stuff, I was like, how are we this bad? Like, it was next level.
A lot of next level stuff, a lot of big breaking news, a lot of injuries too, but we want to get to your questions. Remember, we got Factor Fiction at the end of the show, so drop all your Factor Fictions. We'll do that in our final segment. So again, ask us questions here. Let's start here with Glass's question. Is Chase getting suspended? Now, Jamar Chase got into it with Jalen Ramsey, in case you missed it, and I would think it's gotta be a lock that he gets suspended. They set the precedent with Carter in week 1. I don't know how you don't follow it. It's clear when you go look back at the tape, though, that he definitely spits in his general direction, and that seems like enough. Now, Welsh, I know you didn't quite see the replay of that. But
I saw the replay, but I didn't watch like the follow-up replays. I saw like 7 different cuts. So like, did he spit? It just didn't look like it. But I didn't get the Zapruder film where it was zoomed in to like.
What's this
Ramsey's
Zapruder film?
head
You
went
can find it
back
on
to
Twitter this
200.
second.
No, I'm saying like the initial ones were just shots, and it just didn't look like anything happened. And then you get the big quick ones, and that's fine. That's it's. I agree. They've set the precedent. I hadn't seen it before. Ramsey with all the I think there's a suspension in tow for sure.
I think he should be. I think that, like you guys said, the precedent has been set. And Damian Harris was talking about it yesterday. He's like, why are you just going to lie in front of God and everybody? Like, we can see the video. You spit right on his chest. We saw it. Like, and he just said, I didn't spit on nobody or whatever he said. Like, you clearly did. I mean, and Ramsey said, hey, look, you spit on me, and I don't care about football at that point. It's up. So,
man, I just watched the video. Good Lord, that there is no doubt about
hard
that.
to deny.
Why are all these dudes spitting on each other? This is gross.
This is Damian Harris's whole thing yesterday. He said, "Why are you going to lie in front of everybody? And when did this become a thing? This is disgusting." I agree. Just throw some fists.
Just shove the dude. Yeah, shove him. Like kick him down or
start
something.
punching each
because
other.
it's more disrespectful. That's why, I guess.
Gross. That's a gross spit too, by the way. Like if you were to
That's
break
why
it down,
I pulled the clip up for you.
The-
I want you to be clear about the suspension before you comment on it.
it wasn't just like a little baby spit. There was just like dribble and stuff. Like I would be pissed too.
Was there a
This is
second
gross.
spitter? I don't think so.
I don't know.
It was the water guy for Jamar Chase there.
The grassy 20-yard line.
That's what it was. All right, let's go to DJ's question here. What's up, guys? Fact or fiction? Bryce Young is a QB1 rest of season. All right. Well, actually, I pulled up this one accidentally here. It's a fact or fiction, but we'll answer it anyway here. Bryce Young being a QB1 rest of season only if he plays Atlanta every single week. I
think he has one other QB1 week.
Against Atlanta.
Was it also against Atlanta?
I'm almost positive it was. I'll double check.
I don't know if it was against Atlanta, but it's only one other one, and he's been under QB2, like QB 25 or lower, like 5 times. So no, I can't get on board with Bryce Young being great the rest of the year.
I can't even get on board maybe with him being the guy next year there. Like, I think they're ready to move on from him potentially, Welsh. I don't know what you think, but every time we think, okay, well, they're ready to move on from Bryce Young and like start looking elsewhere, he drops a game like this and everybody just has pause. So he had a QB 8 finish, Boggs, in week 2. He was QB 12 in week 6 and QB 2 yesterday. Those were the best finishes he had. The other game against Atlanta, I apologize, he was not as good, but they did beat.
They ran all over him in that game.
Yeah, they did. They did. They didn't even have to throw the
passed
football
all over him in this game. Crazy.
But I'm not believing in Bryce Young just because of yesterday. Welsh, are you?
No, not at all. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about. Great, he had an awesome day. Like, it's still not a good. He's not good. Like, maybe he's going to play in decent
Throw
matchup.
bruh up there.
I'm surprised that they moved away and they were able to pass. Was it 46 times? That's him as a QB1. No, he has a couple of those games. They unleashed him like 40 something times in the passing game. Leggett has stepped up a little bit. Coker's not really being involved. Like, they've got more offense, but to be like, he's a no doubt number 1. No, I don't think so. He's just moving into like that streamy realm. And then I would just comment that I don't think they're like ready to move on at all. I just think they're open to the possibilities. Like, they could bring in competition. I don't think they're going to bring in any veteran next year. They did that with like Dalton here. If anything, maybe they find like a 2nd or 3rd round quarterback for competition. I think they're going to do this experiment again.
All right, let's go to Money Station's question. What's up, fellas? Happy Monday. What do you guys think about Chris Rodriguez rest of season? Well, they're on a bye this week, so I think you could sneak him through the waiver wire. And it's pretty clear that he is the one you want for fantasy, I think, just from a workload standpoint. But Bill's still around. I think Bill is droppable, especially because of the bye this week, especially if you've had injuries. Welsh, what are your thoughts on that Commanders backfield, which you saw on the Sunday morning?
I think it's pretty clear you don't want any part of that backfield. That's what I've been saying for a
assessment.
month. Yeah, every time it's like, oh, Bill Krosky's top 20. Like, nope. Like, sometimes you have to make the commitment. Like, yeah, there's going to be a guy that's going to, like, jump up. But why try to take the risk? I know what you're saying. Like, oh, Rodriguez has got, like, the goal line potential. But I want zero part of it, especially with Mariota under there. So, no, absolutely not.
All right, Boggs, any thoughts on this Commanders backfield? Will you take
Same
Chris
as
Rodriguez?
Welsh. Yeah, it's C-Rod over everybody else there, but it's a big, gross mess. McNichols is getting third downs, and they're mixing early downs between C-Rod and Bill. It's gross. So
Let me ask you this: who would you rather, Chris Rodriguez or Kenny Gainwell?
I think Chris Rodriguez, because I think
C-Rod.
Gainwell is still circumstantial. Because
it-
if Warren is
Jalen,
healthy,
they said this morning Jalen
Yeah.
Warren could have gone back in if this was like a playoff game. They just didn't.
But
So
they
I think,
also use Gainwell in these spots. They use him in the red
but
zone.
but look at the previous week though, Welsh. Gainwell was in on a million plays and had 2 touches. So they
Welsh, I
do
think it's
use him,
circumstantial, too.
but it's mainly when Warren is hurt. So I would rather have C-Rod, but it's not by a wide margin even in that. So,
Circumstantial evidence is not being accepted. Sustained.
well, no, it's circumstantial because I think if you have Warren, it's imperative to have Gainwell at this point because
just
when Warren's
step into
out,
Law and Order?
Gainwell does become that guy who makes that immediate jump. Whereas if I'm just talking about like building fantasy rosters, like Chris Rodriguez is still startable every week. Whereas Gainwell
He's a
is
top.
not.
You think he's a top 36 running back?
I think with this
Yeah.
this coming bye week
He-
where we have 4 more teams on a bye, I think he's a start. Oh, and they're one of them this week, but
They're
whenever
one
the
of them.
next big bye week,
Right.
that he is a starter. Or if you have more injuries, I mean, look,
he's going to have 15 carries, and he's most likely to score a touchdown out of that group. That's what makes him viable. Not that he's very
good
viable,
conversation.
and he's probably not going to have that touchdown most weeks. So a lot of it is going to be 15 rushes for 60 to 70 yards and no catches because Bill and McNichols are getting all that stuff. So he's a gross option, but he's an option that is touchdown dependent and might score.
Also, a lot of breaking news as of Monday, too. Michael Penix out for the year. Look, the Falcons are toast. It's done. It's
is set.
over. So now you get Kirk Cousins in there. So we also have an injured Drake London. We're still waiting on a little bit more clarity as of recording this, where we're at with him.
I think they said he's not playing this week. Like that's already
Yeah.
out. It's just further. So yuck.
Yeah, but I feel like I had a similar injury with Ricky Pearsall that he wasn't playing this week, and I didn't see him again till November, and that is problematic for me. So Bogman, again, the downgrade of London with the injury and what we've seen out of Kirk Cousins or haven't seen. What are your thoughts on where the Atlanta Falcons offense is from a fantasy perspective now?
Yeah, not great, right? Because Darnell Mooney is your next man up, which is a massive downgrade. He hasn't been doing much of anything this year. I think they might use Bijan more as like a slot option and run Tyler Algier a little bit more. We saw them doing that until this game when they were down most of the game here. So it's just not good overall. I mean, Kirk Cousins, I love Kirk Cousins, but he has not shown us anything this year. One really bad game, one okay game. So, I mean, it's just not in a good spot. I think, you get what you get from Pitts. He's still a tight end. He should see more volume, and Bijan should see more volume. But this is not a good situation, obviously, taking out your starting quarterback and your best wideout.
This is a fascinating question. Awesome Dev asking, Christian Watson be a feasible replacement for London rest of season?
No.
Okay, you say no. I'm going to say this.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to say this. If you're a team on the bubble right now, and they're telling you that Drake London's going to miss a week, and then eventually he comes back and it's Kirk Cousins. Again, 1 week turns into 3 weeks very quickly with these PCL injuries. We've seen it this year already. Wasn't that what Brock Bowers had as well? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct? Wasn't it a PCL issue?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And
PCL
how
is
many
2 to
weeks
6
did it-
weeks. It's
2
2 to
weeks.
6.
Okay. If you're a bubble team in the playoffs right now, like you can compete, but you don't have Drake London now, and you want to make that swap to a team that is already in first place or second place and take Christian Watson, I would do that deal. Sorry, that's my stance on it. You can all
You're
say
saying
no.
you would wait, hold on. I just checked
Yeah.
in on this conversation. You are saying you
We're
would
doing a
trade
show.
Drake London?
Yeah,
No. I
Out of
couldn't-
bounds every day from 2 to 3.
Yeah, I got it, Joseph.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know if I quite understood what you were getting at. You would trade Drake London today for Christian Watson.
Yes, because
He
I
thinks they're
watched.
shutting down London.
I think right because in 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, when they've lost more games and they're completely irrelevant, there's no guarantee Drake London comes back to play. A, B, he's healthy enough in time to make an impact, or C, also, or I feel like that kid from Home Alone where he's like
D,
A,
yeah.
2, and then
Buzz.
D, Buzz, yeah. What are you doing in my room? Yeah, look, and then the third thing is, if you're a playoff team-ish bubble team, right? Like you're right on that bubble. You need productivity. You've just lost Drake London for a couple weeks. You can't afford to wait 3 weeks for him to come back because you're going to miss the playoffs. I make that deal.
I understand what you're saying, I have to wait to see what they're going to say about London beyond this week before I move him. Specifically, I'm Porky Pig again. Good Lord, I need some sugar. I switched to Coke Zero. I think the sugar is killing me. I have the caffeine, but not the sugar. I think what's going on here is we see this great game for Christian Watson, right? 2 touchdowns, though. His stat line looked exactly like the previous 2 weeks, 3 weeks that he played, where he was wide receiver 30, wide receiver 48, wide receiver 46 in PPR, or in half PPR, excuse me. So he's posting like borderline wide receiver 4-3 numbers, and then he scores twice. He is touchdown dependent, like most players are, but I don't think this role for him is going to be scoring a touchdown every single week. It's what you want from him every single week.
Sure.
It's what makes him a good swing play, right? But you can't trade your wide receiver 1 without knowing for sure he is going to miss multiple weeks, and I just don't know that yet, and I'm not willing to downgrade to Watson.
Yeah,
I guess my point. I guess my point is Watson's healthy right now and making plays, and I know he's not a high volume guy.
You're getting out before the big announcement of the injury. I understand what you're doing.
Well, I'm getting out because I feel like I've learned the hard way this year as someone who has Brock Bowers in a couple leagues that, it's going to be a week or 2, and this injury is not a week or 2 injury. It's a 4 to 6 week injury, and now the difference of the calculation is it's the end of the season, and Atlanta is irrelevant. And at this point, it's the same reason why I'm telling people drop Garrett Wilson if you have one IR spot and you want to put somebody else on it, because he ain't coming back and being relevant, and he comes back theoretically week 15, maybe, and then maybe that's the ramp up week if you're lucky. What I'm saying is you got to play for now. We're approaching week 12. I think that's my take. Go ahead, Welsh. Looks like you got something on your mind.
Oh, no, just like, to your credit, the Falcons are 3-7. There's nothing to play for. They just lost their quarterback, so there's no need to press this. I guess it's just like
there's still a possibility this could be 2 weeks.
Yeah, and they're saying this
Pittman?
is like.
Would you take Pittman?
Yeah,
that's more reasonable.
I think you're in a more reasonable range. I think it's the guy that you chose was the problem. Everybody on the planet before wanted to trade Tyrod McMillan. That would have been one.
I was one of those guys. Yeah. I still kind of am.
All right, fair. Oh, Tyrod McMillan's another guy too. If you could pull that off, if you
not now, but yeah.
Well,
okay. I mean, you trade him for a lot more now.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Bryce Young ain't throwing for 450 again. So.
I mean, if you can get Tyrod McMillan for London right now because the news hasn't circulated into this big thing, I smash that under the circumstances of everything you said. It's just Christian Watt, Romeo Doubs was just bobble hands. He was dropping every single pass. Christian Watson made a couple really great plays in that one. Love, I don't think Love is that great. I don't think Watson is consistent. So it's just the name that you picked.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation, the Jets situation. It looks like Gabriel is going to probably miss this week with the concussion, so we're getting Shedeur Sanders, and then Tyrod Taylor is going to be back under center for the Jets. So we're getting that announcement from Aaron Glenn. So Fields is out. Welsh, who would you rather start this coming week, Shedeur Sanders or Tyrod Taylor?
Let me look at them. I mean, neither. I'd rather have an empty quarterback position. I'm going to tell you, my gut says Tyrod Taylor, but I want to look at the matchup. Shedeur's got Tyrod's got the Ravens defense. I mean, to be fair, the Raiders are going up against the Browns for Shedeur, but Shedeur didn't look good. He was just hey, there's another guy with a different jersey and throwing it to him. I don't think he's ready for any of this. At least Taylor's a vet. I don't like either one of these, but it would be Taylor for sure. How is Shedeur not going to be the bottom quarterback ranked this coming week?
I don't know. I think I would play Shedeur with a full week of practice with the ones, because now there's nothing standing in his way. I'd play Shedeur.
Who are the ones in Cleveland, Joe?
Yeah. Who are the Jerry Jeudy? Tell me the Jets wide receiver that's as good as Jerry Jeudy.
Breece Hall is better than everybody in Cleveland. So
I don't know his name.
I don't even know his stupid name, and he's better than everybody. So look, John Mechie didn't look bad. I've seen Tyrod Taylor play quarterback before in the NFL. We saw a quarter and a half of Shedeur, and it was miserable. So I don't care if he's practicing all week with the ones.
If there were a couple more catches and a few less drops in that last drive, so we saying that that guy made a great play in the end zone.
I like Shedeur. I like Shedeur more than I like Dylan Gabriel because Shedeur has rushing upside. He didn't have to at Colorado, but his father is one of the best athletes to ever live. His brother played safety, right? He's an athletic dude. He can run. So I would rather have Shedeur than Dylan Gabriel, but I've seen Tyrod have success in the NFL. I would a million times go with Tyrod, even with this disgusting wide receiver core. Sure, Jerry Jeudy would be the best wide receiver on the Jets by maybe this much. Not much at all. He's not very good.
All right, one more
Revenge
question.
factor, too.
Has Jacoby Brissett played himself into a starting role next year somewhere? Because I'm old enough to remember a couple years ago when he was with the Browns, where remember they had a winning record for a few weeks and then
Should've
they
never got rid of
bypassed
him.
him, and they should never have gotten rid of him. They were playing defense, running the football. Jacoby Brissett was, just handling, keeping things like just chill. Everybody loved him. They talked about what a great guy he is in the locker room, what a leader, all that stuff. Now I know he was terrible as the Patriots quarterback last year, but the Patriots last year were a disaster under Tyrod Mayo. So like I can't even blame him so much. But I mean, setting an NFL record of completions in a game, 47, I believe it was, right? Is that what it was? That's nuts, Boggs. Like, don't you think like he's at least getting a shot in a weak quarterback class where some other organization is going to be like, let's bring in Jacoby Brissett and surround him with some talent and maybe he'll be okay.
He's the final piece of somewhere. Like if he went to Minnesota and was starting right now where McCarthy was, that would be excellent,
really
right?
Interesting.
I'll do you guys one better real quick. He's the piece in Arizona. Kyler Murray's gone. Kyler, they've been,
Maybe.
I think you're right.
You guys are
think
talking
you're
about
right,
other teams. They've been talking about
Well,
this
he's
for
a
a
free
month
agent.
out here and bring him back.
I
They've
think
been
you should.
talking
I
about
think you're right.
him, Kyler Murray and the Jacoby Brissett situation for the last month. I think Kyler Murray is getting traded. He's done. They bring back Brissett, and that gives them an opportunity to go and draft a quarterback and develop them under. Unless someone's going to give Brissett a multi-year contract, which they're not. It'll be at best a 2-year with some type of option. I think the Cardinals do that. Kyler Murray, they ship out for more picks, and they draft a young quarterback to develop under. Kyler's done. Jacoby Brissett, don't pretend all the pieces he would be good with in other teams. It's Arizona.
Yeah, but I think they
if the
need
coach
another
stays,
piece.
right?
Like you
That's
have,
the coach
I
has to
don't know
stay.
what Marvin is. I know Trey McBride is awesome. Give him another wide receiver there, so he has like 3
I know
really good
Marvin is.
options. Like if he would have gone to the Colts, right, where we see Daniel Jones having a lot of success this year, I think that would have been a good situation. But if you put him in Pittsburgh, where you only have DK, you put him in New York, where there's nobody, in Cleveland, where there's nobody, he's not going to be good. He has to be elevated by the players around him.
All right, let's play a little game. I'm going to bring up the playoff picture right now, and you could play at home when you're watching. Drop your comments below here on the Twitch and on YouTube as well. I'm going to ask both these guys to pick a team from the AFC side and the NFC side that is not making the playoffs. So let's look at the AFC side right now. You have Denver right now as the 1 seed on the bye. You have Buffalo, Pittsburgh, the 5-4, Chargers, Indy, 6-3. Jacksonville is the 7 spot. New England is the 2 right now. So New England would have a home playoff game. Boggs, you're an AFC guy. Tell me which of these teams is out of this playoff mix in a couple weeks from now when we're looking back at this.
I think the Chargers are too beat up to make it. Jacksonville's the easy pick, but I think the Chargers missing the tackles they're just rough right now. Herbert looked miserable. He looks a little banged up. Obviously, Hampton might be coming back after the bye week. We'll see. I like that they get a nice week to regroup here and get a little healthier, but it looked real bad last week. So they beat up Pittsburgh, but that was Pittsburgh being awful. So I think it's the Chargers.
You're the NFC guy, so let's take a look at the other side of that page. So on the NFC side, you got the Eagles with another ugly W under their helmets. You got Seattle and Tampa at the 5 and the 4. You got Green Bay at the 6. And look at that first place Bears. Seth, our producer, has no idea how to feel. They're at the top of the division. They've got 7 wins, and he's more uncomfortable now than he was when they had a losing record. And then you have your 49ers, Welsh, and the Rams at the 2 spot, 49ers at the 7. So which one of these teams doesn't make it into the playoffs, in your opinion?
I think this is so tough. I think the easy thing to say is the Niners as a 7 and the division. Rams are 8-2, Seahawks are 7-3. But here's my problem with saying the Niners. They just got healthy. Think of this stupid team.
Right.
They just got Purdy back. They just got Pearsall back. They've got Kittle back. Now their defense is atrocious, and they couldn't bring in Samuel or anything. So I definitely think there's a possibility that they could be on the outs. I'm going to say I think that the team that it's coming out from is the NFC North, and that's a little bit of a cheat. My gut says it's the Chicago Bears, even though they're the three spot. But look at this. They're 1 game back from each other. Bears are 7-3, Packers are 6-3, and Packers are the 6th seed. So it takes 2 losses for the Bears to start being on the potential outs here. I just don't trust this team. I think the Packers are in a bad spot. They got so lucky that Josh Jacobs is avoiding any big major injury. So I tend to lean that the Packers are going to be able to hold on. The Bears are going to fall apart. Their defense is really bad. And I'm going to say wildly, maybe it's not going to be popular, but I'm going to say that 3 seed of the Bears at this moment is the team that's going to get knocked out.
I don't want to count the Lions out yet either from the playoffs because they're going to have the Giants this week in their own building, and they're going to turn around and score 40 points, and everyone's going to be back on the bandwagon.
I wasn't even thinking of that. You're 100% right about that.
Like, the Lions are like, that's the weirdest part. It's like, I think it's, it's the calls coming from inside the house. I think it's coming from within the division that the Lions will come through and either knock out both one of the Bears or the Packers, I think, from that. And I don't look. Dan Campbell drives me crazy. Like, if he goes for another 4th down, I might break my television.
Can we put up that bracket one more time, Seth?
Sure. Let's take a look.
Where the Chiefs are not in it in the AFC yet.
The Chiefs are not. Well, that's, I think, where the Chargers dropout comes from, possibly. You could see them. If the Chargers keep losing games within that division, the Chiefs make a look. The Chiefs got to get their crap together. But what do we always talk about, Boggs, in the betting pro shows? The team that loses the Super Bowl every year, especially when they lose in historically bad fashion, never rebounds the next year. Typically, first of all, they've never make the Super Bowl again. The only team to ever do that, to lose the Super Bowl and get back in the last 25 years, was Tom Brady and the Patriots, and they won. So not only do they not win, they don't get back, and some of them don't even make the playoffs the next year. So it's brutal. The Chiefs aren't in there. There's a couple other good teams that are float around that AFC that I think are competitive, at least. So we'll see how that all shakes out. All right, let's talk about our takeaways from the week. My first takeaway, obviously, Bryce Young should only play the Falcons. The Panthers versus the Falcons is a gimme. That is absolutely it. Welsh, what was your takeaway from week 11?
Well, it's a perfect transition to what we just talked about. This is the most beatable Chiefs team in I don't even know how long. And I want to say another thing to throw at what you guys were saying. You're like, oh, the Chiefs could get there. I'm not sure that they can get there. I was looking. Patrick Mahomes has they have that rate of fantasy points data has like the turnover worthy throw stat, which I think is kind of an interesting one because you're just looking at like how bad this team has been. Patrick Mahomes is at near the tippy top. He's got the most turnover worthy throws inside the top 10. Well, of inside the top 10, so throws that are 9 yards or lower, he has the number 1 most turnover throws. Guess what? Of 20 yards or more, he's second in turnover worthy throws. So his accuracy is in like the 64. The adjusted completion percentage is bad. What I'm throwing out here is like he has been wildly inconsistent. And this is pairing with a team that is 1-4 on the road. Mind you this, in the AFC, there is one winless team. That is the Cleveland Browns. Next up, it is tied for the Chiefs being the worst on the road. They're 5-5. If they make the playoffs, they're going to be playing on the road. They can't play on the road right now. Patrick Mahomes has been a disaster from the position he has put all of these they have great receivers. They have no real trustworthy running game. They're not playing well on the road. Like, listen, they're the Chiefs. Anything can happen. I don't want to take away from any of that, but they are the most beatable version of a team that we've seen. And if they sneak into the playoffs, I think it's going to kind of all be for nothing. And their fantasy options are becoming less trustworthy than we've ever seen before. And I think because it all revolves around Patrick Mahomes, and maybe we can go in and say it's the receivers and it's the routes and it's the play calling that's the problem. But Patrick Mahomes has been kind of the worst version we've seen in quite some time, and he's showing it from whether it's short or deep ball throws. It's just that middle that he's being able to maintain.
Yeah, it's been a weird year for him. And the Ravens aren't in that mix either on that chart also, so don't forget about them at some point.
I pulled up PFF real quick, and he is tied. Patrick Mahomes is tied with Daniel Jones for 5th most turnover-worthy plays at in any part of the field.
And who
can
plays
you guys
the
name
Chiefs this week? Oh wait, it's the Indianapolis Colts, boys and girls.
A lot of turnovers in that game. My God. But can you name me the 4 quarterbacks with more turnover-worthy plays in DJ and Patrick Mahomes?
More this year?
More this year, right now.
Oh, Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is not in that
how
board.
can that possibly be?
Turnover. How about
turnover-worthy plays?
How about
Bo Nix is not in there either. I was surprised by that. So they're one of them is no longer starting. That's probably your only hint.
Justin Fields.
No, not Justin Fields. Not that team.
We are
my God, in this game. Like, you're really pushing me here to the bottom of the barrel.
Okay,
hold on. Tua.
Tua's number 1. Bing, bing, bing.
I got Tua.
Yeah,
Tua.
he has 19 turnover-worthy plays, and then there's 3 others
Ward?
with 17. Not Cam Ward either. Cam Ward has 12.
Jackson Dart had to have a high
No,
percentage.
not Jackson Dart.
I mean, just
Wow,
were just
Well, okay, one of them.
horrific
Okay,
at this game.
there's another one in Florida.
Trevor Lawrence.
That's it. Has 17. One is an MVP candidate until maybe the last couple weeks, and the other one has been benched.
Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield is
I was
in there.
about to
Yes.
say Baker.
Who was the benched guy?
Who
Plays for the Schmorland Schmaints?
Oh, well, that would be Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler.
Spencer
Yeah.
Smatler.
Spencer Schmatler. That's
Only
right.
thing, last thing
Now
on
I
our
sound
on
like
the
you
Chiefs thing.
all show when I say
Only- yeah. That's all, folks.
My
the only
Shakira impression.
the only thing to the Chiefs that'll be interesting is the rest of the season schedule that Seth sent us. They've got, they got the Colts, which is gonna be a tough matchup. You got Dallas. We'll see which way that can go. Houston, and then the final 4 weeks it's the Chargers, the Titans, the Broncos, and the Raiders. There's some winnable games in there, so they could sneak in. But again, they have just been so bad on the road. They sneak in, and I think they absolutely fumble it.
All right, Boggs, what was your big takeaway from the week?
I think that all of the weapons in Minnesota need to take a little bit of a downgrade on our week-to-week process with J.J. McCarthy going through the growing pains here. This is what we were supposed to be seeing early in the season from McCarthy, is kind of righting the ship and getting things right. Obviously, he was hurt for a long time, so we got Carson Wentz until he was too broken to play anymore, and then we got J.J. McCarthy. So I just think Justin Jefferson goes to he's still a wide receiver 1, but he's probably close to the bottom end normally. Addison is a borderline start most weeks. Aaron Jones is getting enough volume to do stuff, but I think it's going to click for McCarthy at some point, but I think it might be at the end of the year.
Is it a safe space? Is this a safe space to say that J.J. McCarthy is not good? Maybe he will be good.
can say
I'm
it
not saying
here. I don't
definitively.
He's not
think
good
he-
now. Yeah,
good right now.
I think that's
He
what
does
I'm
not
saying,
look
but
like
I'm
a
doing
good
it
quarterback.
way nicer than
Yeah,
you
but
are.
like
Very
everybody was all like,
Very kind.
oh my gosh, guys, you had 6 quarters, and yeah, 2 of them were good, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, all the quarters look really bad right now. Every decision he makes looks bad. He doesn't look good. Doesn't mean he can't be good. That is
Well,
progression. That's
you're
prospect
getting
progression.
You're getting 2 things here, though. I think number one is he can't run as much as he normally would because of this injury, right? So you're not getting that crazy rushing upside that we're all kind of waiting for McCarthy to have. I think we'll get that by the end of the year. The more healthy he gets, the more he's going to run, right? And also, when everything slows down for him, the weapons are incredible. You can see flashes of it, you can see moments of it, but it's not quite there yet. So you're right. He sucks right now. I'm not going to sit here and defend him right now, but
Let's talk about
this
him
is
next
why
year.
I'm saying he needs to everything in Minnesota needs
Let's
to come
put
down
him
a
to
little
bed.
bit.
Let's put him to bed, and let's talk about him next year, because I think this year we're done with J.J. McCarthy.
Well, you said it yourself, Boggs. You said, he's trying to right the ship. The problem is he's on the Titanic right now. That's the problem. And it's going nowhere. And he's taking Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is literally Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie, hanging on to that giant piece of wood that seems to have enough room for 2 people on it.
That
but she's
movie?
like, no. In that movie, in the
That
Titanic.
movie.
I said the Titanic.
Oh, okay.
I said he's on the Titanic.
Yeah,
I said I'm
he
a
is.
right spider. That's what I said. All right. Boggs, what was your moment of the week?
Jamar Chase spitting on Ramsey and being
The
up.
moment of the week?
Yeah,
That brought
look,
you the
it's
most,
disgusting, man. I
okay.
I cannot believe he held himself. We would have been in a real fight on the ground, punching through that helmet if that was me. It would have been way worse. So I kind of applaud Ramsey for holding back a little bit, even though he threw fists. So
That was a loogie. You ever hear like there's spit and there's a
disgusting,
loogie?
dude.
That was a loogie.
yeah, like Ramsey said, it's up. So yeah, that was disgusting. Bengal's gonna Bengal. Jamar Chase is officially a Bengal now to me. So
All right. Welsh, I hope yours does not have any bodily fluids in it.
It doesn't,
moment of
but
the week.
I just wanted to point out, especially in our last stream last week where we had our big Marvin Harrison conversations, 15 catches for 185 yards. How about Michael Wilson? Let's
seriously.
ever
Crazy.
seen Marvin Harrison do anything remotely close to 15
ever see
catches,
Kyler Murray
185
complete
yards?
47 passes?
Ever
seen
see
Marvin
ever
Harrison
see Marvin
Sr. do
Harrison
some
with
things.
Jacoby Brissett? Yes, we have. Michael Wilson, decent route runner, good with catching the ball and holding on to it. What a world you can do when you have a receiver that can be even just consistent, if not average. I just thought what Michael Wilson did, that was a slam spot. I talked about it on the Sunday live stream. I know everybody's a little different on it. I was like, he's going to cook the 49ers receivers. He's absolutely going to cook them. It's going to be about will Brissett be comfortable throwing him the ball? And unlike some other receivers that have been there, Brissett found a level of comfort that he was willing to throw ridiculous amounts of footballs towards Michael Wilson, and he caught him. Caught 15 of them.
Certainly were. All right, mine was, I thought Boggs, I actually left this for Boggs thinking he was going to pick this one, but it was actually from the Steelers game. It was big boy Darnell Washington just running over people. That was so fun. Like, if I wish they'd get him the football a little bit more just because it's fun. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if it's the right call or the wrong call. It's fun to watch that guy running downhill, he's making grown men look like little children. He's just throwing guys off to the sideline.
No, let's keep Jonnu Smith on the field, though.
Yeah,
let's do that.
You know those mascot versus like Pee Wee games that look like that?
Exactly
That's what he
what
looked
it
like. Yeah, like
exactly
we're just
like
rolling
the Colts
over.
guy who's
that
notoriously
guy's
seven-year-old
savage,
children.
man.
Yeah.
That Colts mascot is absolutely savage. I love that guy. He is the best. All right.
By the way, I was just looking real quick. Kyler Murray has 6 games in his career where he's attempted as many passes as Jacoby Brissett completed this week. 47 completions. So
yeah, that's pretty rough there. All right, let's play some Fact or Fiction. You ready to go, boys and girls? Let's go. Let's go to Try's question here. Fact or Fiction? Vrabel will mess up Henderson's upside by playing Stevenson. Fact or Fiction, Welsh? And spell Vrabel's name right. He's Coach of the Year. Spell it right next time, Try.
that's good enough. It's like marbles in your mouth.
It's actually Rob. This is how Bogman would say it. Roble.
I would say Vrabel is what I would
It's
say.
like the Favre thing. I tend to still think it's like yes, but it's not going to be complete. It's just it's a median point. Travion was just blah, and then he just absolutely exploded. I think it's just going to be a split thing. Like, do you really think they're not going to give Stevenson 10 to 12 carries a game? Like, they are, and it's going to be stupid. Will it destroy Travion? No. And the upside is still there because like he makes big explosive plays. So I guess I'm like talking out of both sides of my. I tend to think like yes, if you think Travion's going to get 22 carries a game and 4 receptions, and Ramondre is only going to have like 12 snaps. Like I think you're wrong on that standpoint, but he is just super explosive. But I guess I will say fact.
I'm going to say Fiction. I think the cat's out of the bag, the genie's out of the bottle. You can't go back to a guy who's making that sort. Look, you're at this point in the season where he's got fresh legs. Everybody else is tired. He looks explosive. He's making big plays. He's catching the football.
Oh,
His
he
computer's freezing.
is a 3-down back that you do want to give somebody. Oh, is it? I'm sorry. Am I back
Just
now?
for a second.
I
Yeah,
never
you're
froze
good,
here for
you're
me. All right. Yeah, the wind here is wild where I am.
Just
but,
for everybody else.
What I say is this: like, I think you're at a point here where he's a 3-down back, but even in Ohio State, you saw like you got to take some carries off of him. And I think that's what you want to do with Ramondre too. You want to give Ramondre 5 to 10 carries. I think that's fine. 10 to 15, no, thank you. No, ma'am, I will not have that. Fact or Fiction for you there, Boggs. What do you think about this one?
Fact, yes. If he splits with Henderson, that's too much for Stevenson. It is. So yes, he will absolutely screw this up.
Well, I hate that. I hate that answer, and I hate cursive, and I hate all of you. All right, let's get to a Fact or Fiction here. Chiefs don't make the playoffs. Fact or Fiction, Boggs? Go ahead, you can start this one.
Fiction. They'll make it. It's the Chiefs. They're going to make it. They're going to make it, and they're going to make a deep run as well. I don't know if they'll go back to the Super Bowl this year, but they'll probably get to the AFC Championship again. Yes, they're going to make it.
Welsh, Fact or Fiction? Chiefs get in.
pretty clear off of what I brought up. I think it's fiction. Like that they can get in. I'm sorry. I think they can sneak in based off that schedule. I do not think they're making a deep run. I think they'll be playing on the road in their first game. I think they will lose, and I think they would make a quick exit. So I could see them getting in based off of that schedule, but it'll be short.
It's I agree. It's exactly what happened to the Eagles, right? A couple years ago, they snuck in the playoffs. They went on the road and they lost where? Tampa. Like that's it. This is exact. They're literally the roadmap is in front of you, everybody. That's what it's all about. Let's do another fact or fiction here. Fact or fiction: Chase is not a top 10 wide receiver rest of season. Fact or fiction, Welsh?
Fiction. I think he still is. Joe Flacco, Joe Burrow, Joe in
Joe
3.
Pisapia,
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I've put the meme. It doesn't really matter. Like, they're going to sling the ball. I was a bad outing. Steelers just kind of locked him down. He's spitting on everybody. The thing that might keep him out rest of season is he's going to get suspended for a game. So, like, that might be the pseudo thing from a talent perspective, though. No, doesn't matter. Whichever Joe is behind, unless it's you, Pisapia, he's going to get 15 targets. You actually would probably target him.
I've thrown more footballs than Joe Burrow probably in the last couple of weeks. Just saying. Out there practice every week. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe about that.
We're out there 2 times a week.
I'm sure that football is of the same quality.
I'm sure it is. I will be throwing footballs in practice at the Meadowlands. I'll be throwing more balls than Justin Fields this week, potentially. Just saying. I'll be on that field. Now, hopefully nobody gets hurt on that field.
I'm
like
sure he won't
else.
throw any in practice. I'm sure they'll.
I'm sure it's
Man,
fine.
if
All right.
Joe blows out his knee in that life, I will feel
do a
bad,
bit.
but it might be the funniest.
It might be the
thing
funniest
that's
thing ever.
happened.
Believe me, I will be walking everywhere. I will be walking like this, like on eggshells, very gently. Like, you know, I'll be walking like Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd used to walk like this. Right, just a rabbit. Fact or fiction? Jordan Love is a hidden MVP candidate. I think this is fiction, Boggs. How about you?
Fiction.
Yeah.
Fiction.
Welsh fiction on this one?
It's not that good.
Lord of the Rings.
All right, there you go. All right, let's do a little 3-1-1. Take a look at the board here. Bogman is the leader at 10. He got 2 last week. Chan and Allen. I got 1 with the Bijan, and Welsh got 0. No Flacco, no Dowdle, no Chase. You both had Chase, and Chase didn't get there. So this week I'm going against the New York Giants with the Lions at home. Give me Jared Goff for the 300-yard passer, Amon-Ra St. Brown for the 100-yard receiver, and give me Derrick Henry against the New York Jets. That's what I'm saying for my 100-yard rusher. Welsh, who's your 3-1-1 for Week 12?
I got to make sure I'm doing different players than you guys. I was gonna pick a couple of the ones you had. I'm on my heels here. Like, I gotta have 2 big weeks if I'm gonna make
Pushed
this
into a
competitive
corner.
overall.
We've backed him into a corner. He's gonna become a monster now. Let's see.
Rough. I'm gonna go with Drake May, who I believe leads the league in passing yards. I'm gonna go Drake May versus the Cincinnati Bengals. He is, MVP candidate. Bengals defense. They're trying to do their things, but Drake May's going to come into town and ruin that. Give me Saquon Barkley versus the Dallas Cowboys. They were running with Barkley a whole bunch. You're going to have a lot more success against the Dallas Cowboys. Let's get over 100 there, playing up big. And how about Tyrod and McMillan versus my 49ers? And you know what? You guys are like, ooh, Bryce Young. Maybe Bryce Young will have another big week. Michael Wilson, 15 for 185. Tedoroa got a bunch of targets. They're going to keep up that. Niners aren't stopping anybody, so he's going over 100. Let's see if we can sweep it.
Yeah, Niners, boy, those injuries have really caught up. All right.
How are
Boggs.
we with Bryce Young, Welsh? Tell me real quick again, one more
just
time.
like, oh, he's going to be like a top 100.
Bryce Young. He's Bryce Young. I love it.
He's going to be able to keep it one.
For me, I'm going to go Matthew Stafford versus Tampa Bay. They stopped the run really well. They kept James Cook bottled up. I think it's going to force the Rams to pass, so I think Stafford gets to 300 there. Jahmyr Gibbs against the Giants. I think he could do that on 4 explosive plays. The Giants have not tackled very well this year. Not as bad as I thought, 21st tackle grade, but still a lot of missed tackles. And then JSN at Tennessee. Tennessee just has no secondary to speak of right now. So give me JSN. I feel good about this week, gentlemen. I like this.
Does he now? No, none of us have
now
had
that
a
I'm in
perfect
first,
week.
I'm confident.
I know, right?
Let's go.
None of us have had a perfect week. I will say this.
Never in the history of this game. It's never
This is
happened.
right. Joe Flacco might be the same age as me. It's very, very possible at this point.
I think you're a little older
Our
than
Joe
Flacco.
is way older.
Our Joe is way older. But I feel like I'm happier. Like, Joe Flacco looks miserable all the time. But even if things are going well, he always looks miserable. That's always his MO.
I think it's just his face.
His
let's talk about a fact or
resting-
fiction.
I have
You
a
know what
similar
face.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do, yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
bruh.
bruh.
I'm having a great time right now. Can't
What's
you
that
tell?
face look like? Can we take a look at that bruh face right now?
Yeah. See,
right,
that's a guy that's having a great time.
Look at that. It's like...
Man,
like
that
a
guy's
Welsh comes
job
home.
must really suck. What does he sit on his ass and talk about sports all day? Man, that must
Can you
be
believe
tough.
Can you believe we tweeted that out as a sell for the show?
You know my favorite thing? This is the face that you make as a parent too when you come home and you I asked you to bring in the recycling. I asked you to do one thing to your kids, right? Could you please bring and you're driving home and in the middle of the block, like halfway down the block, you see it's a windy day and the recycling is blowing down the street and you see that bucket and you're like, I asked you to do one thing. Right?
Yeah.
You could've done one
Podcasters, this
thing.
is a visual medium on this, but it's just like, can you imagine we're like, hey, let's sell this show to people, and then bam, that.
All right, let's do one more fact or
How
fiction here.
fun.
Herbert and QJ are cooked rest of season from Peb. Welsh, what do you think? Is it over? Or is it just the offensive line is just not healthy right now?
Boy, it didn't look good in this game. Like, you look at, you're like, how can we be so bad? I'm going to say Herbert's not cooked. QJ's going to have a game or two, but the problem is he's no longer consistent. Ladd is back to, being their bigger play guy. Keenan Allen was clearly the safety net. Gadsden takes away from QJ. I saw one, I probably watched 60% of that game. They had that one play. If you saw it, it was 4 wide receivers up top, 1 on the left, and they were trying to single out QJ. And it was That was it. That was all that they tried to run for him. Gadsden kills him. I think QJ is just, as a general sense, is kind of cooked outside of a game or two. I just don't tend to think that Herbert's done. They're one of the highest passing volume teams in the NFL. They got great pass catchers. They completely fell apart with themselves, and they went up against just kind of a buzzsaw in the Jags and how they forced turnovers. So I think Herbert will be okay. I think QJ is cooked.
Boggs, I think it's all about the health of the offensive line. The Chargers' future is based on that. If all can come back healthy sooner than later, but that's tough right now. They definitely need a bye. They're getting it at the right time this week, that's for sure.
I mean, and I think they may have to use more, heavy blocking tight ends, which is gonna. I mean, I don't think it'll affect Gadsden that much, but it affects all those slot guys, Ladd, and Gadsden is basically a slot wide receiver, and QJ, so Keenan Allen, and so I just think it, like Welsh said, it's going to be inconsistent on who is the big performer week to week. So, I think QJ's definitely done. Herbert, 50-50. Flip a coin.
All right, everybody. Subscribe to our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. Hang out with us. Get your questions answered. And, of course, talk a little ball. We've got baseball coming up around the corner on the channel, too. We got a lot of fun stuff happening. Of course, our YouTube channel as well, Fantasy Pros. Subscribe. Drop your comments below. Like the video as well. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for the Welsh and Scott Bogman. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy Week 12.
That's all, folks.
I knew we were going to do that. I knew it. I can
to.
feel it in my bones.
We need that close next week. I'm just saying, Bogman's face up there. That's all, folks.
I love Looney Tunes.
Crashing through the Fantasy Pros logo. That'd be sweet.
Oh, so if they can make that happen, that's